This episode is brought to you by Real Girl Talk partners and sponsors.
You are listening to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. I am your host, Sherry. Each one of these episodes will provide you an opportunity to recognize, develop, and achieve all God has for you, bringing you incredible guests, faith-filled messages that will motivate you to reboot, regroup, and reinvent yourself in faith, business, and lifestyle abundance. Now let's level up, ladies, and let's dive in. Welcome back to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. I am your host, Sherry Ricard. What if I told you there was a powerful 7-step formula that you could use to set and achieve your goals for the rest of your life? Would you tune in? There is a 7 steps to success formula that many people use, successful multi-millionaires, CEOs that use this formula to achieve all of the success that they have today. Every single successful person uses this formula or some sort of variation of this formula to achieve more than the average person. And so you're probably asking, what in the world is this formula? Because I will use it starting today, but I'm going to share it with you. So here it goes. We're going to dive right in. This is going to be a short podcast because you don't need a long one to have success, right? You just need to take action and utilize this formula to set yourself off on a new projection, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter if you're in business, if you're working, if you're doing a side hustle, personal life, professional life, you can use this for anything. I've used this formula for years. I've shared this with my team. My team is already having tremendous success in 2024 after implementing this formula. So here it goes. Number 1, I want you to decide what you want. And a lot of you may be sitting here thinking, well, I know exactly what I want. I want a bunch of money, or I want a business, or I want this, or I want that. Hear me out. It's a 7-step formula to success. That is only the first step. So you have to decide exactly what it is that you want in each part of your life. What do you want financially? What do you want emotionally? What do you want spiritually? What do you want in every single part of your life? It has to become a meaningful, specific, what do you want, rather just a wandering generality of what you want. Specifically, what do you want? Do you want a business? What kind of business do you want to have? If it's spiritual, what is it that you want exactly? Are you wanting to read more of God's word? Are you wanting to be able to surround yourself with a different type of crowd spiritually? Are you wanting to implement it more as a morning routine? What is it that you want spiritually? What is it that you want financially? Specifically, what do you want? Do you want $10,000? Do you want $100,000? Do you want $1 million? I don't want you to start thinking about the how. The how is not in the picture for the first step. First step is to decide exactly what you want. If you don't have a pen and paper right now and writing down this 7-step formula, don't worry about it. We'll go over it. You can always replay with your pen, your notebook. I tell you that you should have a gratitude journal. You can write it in that. You can have a day planner. You can write it in that. However it is, your devotional, you can write it on the side. I want you to write this down because it's super important that you follow this 7-step formula for success. So number 1, remember, it's just simply decide what you want specifically in each part of your life. Number 2, write it down. I want you to write it down clearly and in detail. Always think on paper. Okay. A goal that is not in writing is not a goal at all. It's merely just a wish. And it has no energy behind it whatsoever. So you can't just think of what you want. You have to write it down. Gratitude journals. I have all types of journals that I write down. I have self-reflection journals, gratitude journals. I have day planners. When I have a thought, I always jot it down on paper. But it's not just writing down, I want $10,000. I want you to be clear on what you want. Okay? I want you to set a deadline. That's step number 3. Set a deadline for every single goal. And these are different goals, right? These are your professional goals and these are your personal goals. So remember, you're deciding on what you want. Now you're writing them down. And now you're setting a deadline beside each goal. A deadline acts as a forcing system in your subconscious mind. It motivates you to do things necessary to make your goals come true. If it is a big enough goal, set sub deadlines as well. Don't leave this just by chance. If you want something to happen by December 31st of 2024, that's the deadline that you need to set. If it is a big enough goal where you need subcategories, then you could say, I'm going to achieve this by this date and the rest of the goal by this date. All right, decide what you want, write it down, set deadlines for every single goal. Now I want you to make a list. Step number 4 is make a list of everything that you can think of that you're going to have to need to achieve that goal. When you think of new tasks and activities, write them on your list until your list is complete. Does that make sense? So you're making this list of everything that you can think of that you're going to have to achieve this goal. So if your goal is to buy a house, what do you need to buy that house? This is what I'm talking about. Do you need to have a better credit score? Do you need to have a down payment? What do you need to buy that house? That was step number 4, make a list. Number 5, we're going to organize this list. So organize your list into a successful plan. When you start a business, you have to have a business plan, right? So we are basically starting your creative lifestyle. So you have to have a plan. You have to organize it successfully. Decide what you will have to do first and what you will have to do second, what you will have to do third, and so on. Decide what is more important and what is less important on your list, and then write out your plan on paper. The same way that you would develop a blueprint to build your dream house. What comes first? What comes second? What comes third? This is going to take time. This is not something you're just going to sit down and just start jotting away, willy-nilly. No, you already know what you want financially, but really put it in perspective. What do you want financially? Do you want an increase in your salary? Financially, do you want to be promoted because that comes with a higher income? Specifically, write down what you want. You have to set deadlines. You have to make lists on everything that's going to take in order to achieve that goal. What is it going to take to get promoted? What is it going to take to get a raise? What is it going to take to sell more houses? What is it going to take to start that business? Organizing that list is step number 5, because we're organizing a successful plan step by step of what it's going to take, and you have to write it on paper. Don't leave it by chance in your mind, because it's not going to happen that way. Step number 6, very, very important, is that you take action on your plan. You have to do something, do anything, but get busy and get going. So if it's a house, for instance, that you want, maybe you're wanting to move out of state, maybe you're wanting to move across the city. What is it going to take for you to do that? Step by step plan. You can't just say, I want to buy a house, right? You have to look at your credit score. Do I have a down payment? Maybe talk to a realtor. Exactly what is it going to take for me to qualify for a specific loan in order to get that house? And then start working towards that loan step by step. You have to take action though. The first action may be to find the house that you want. Or the first action may be to call a loan officer or a real estate agent to help you in order for them to give you that necessity, those needs that you will have to have in order to achieve that home. If it is to move out of the state, do you need a job out of state first? Do you need to pick out a place where you're going to live temporarily in order to buy a home later in that state? That's going to take a step-by-step plan in writing it down, setting that deadline, making that list, organizing that list, and then take action upon that list. Last but not least, do something every single day. Now, this is where a lot of people get stopped. Remember, I told you that this was a 7-step success plan that many, many successful people use, or some formula or variation of this to achieve everything that they want to achieve. Let's look at it like this. If you're wanting to start a business, the first thing you're going to do is what? You're going to actually call the bank and see if you can get money to start this business, right? The first thing the bank is going to ask you is, do you have a business plan? And if the answer is no, you're not going any further than right there. So that would tell me that the first step is actually not calling the bank. It's creating a business plan. They want to see that this loan that they give you, is you're going to be able to pay it back. Right? How are you going to pay it back? Well, that's found in your business plan, in your projection. You can Google business plans. You can call your accountant, let them help you write a business plan, whatever it is that it takes in order for you to succeed. But you have to take action every single day. So you have to do something every day that moves you in the direction of your most important goal right now. You have to develop the discipline of doing something 365 days a year that is moving you forward. You will be absolutely astonished, I'm telling you, at how much you can accomplish when you utilize this formula in your life every single day. So, action exercises today. Decide exactly what you want today. I want you to write it down with deadlines. I want you to make a plan and I want you to take action on at least one goal today. What do you need to do today to start achieving your personal and your professional goals? Now, let me help you out a little bit. When you're writing down a goal, no matter what it's for, let's set aside our personal goals and our professional goals. Let's make this on two separate pieces of paper, two different sides of the notebook, right? So one goal is going to be 7 to 10 goals for your personal. You're going to write 7 to 10 goals professionally. And I say that because if you're writing more than 7 to 10 goals, what you're doing is creating overwhelm. You're creating overwhelm in your mind, and you won't be able to go to the next step, which is setting the deadline. Once you write down too many goals, you won't set deadlines because in your mind, you will not be able to perceive how you can actually achieve those. So that's why I'm saying 7 to 10 goals, and they don't even have to be 7, they could be 3. But the idea is no more than 10 goals for your professional and your professional lifestyle. So you can blend those together if you want, maybe write 3 or 4 personal goals and 3 or 4 professional goals and blend them together. That's fine. Because a lot of times when we accomplish our professional goals, we can mark off some of those personal goals as well and vice versa. We're going to recap our 7 steps. Decide what you want, and this is very, very specific and very meaningful. I want you to write them down clearly and in detail. You can't just say, I want to lose 50 pounds. No, you can say, I want to lose 50 pounds, but you have to follow that by a deadline. You have to follow it by making a list of exactly what it's going to take for you to achieve it. You have to organize that list, and you have to start taking action steps every single day to achieve it. So in order to lose 50 pounds, which I have lost 53 pounds since October of 2023, what did I do to achieve those goals? First, I set the goal and I set a deadline or achieve my deadline ahead of time on losing my 50 pounds. But you can set a goal, say quarterly goals. So in 3 months' time, you want to lose maybe 30 pounds. How are you going to achieve that? Are you going to change your eating? Are you going to start exercising? If you say you're going to exercise, then that brings you down to specifically, what are you going to do for exercise? Are you going to buy an elliptical? Are you going to buy a membership? Are you just simply going to start walking 30 minutes every single day or 5 days a week? Specifically, what are you going to do? And then you have to take action steps towards that. Now, I know at the very beginning of this podcast, you thought, oh, wow, this is going to be super easy. I'm going to write down 7 steps to success. It's going to be powerful and I'm going to be able to achieve it. But you didn't realize that I was going to take you on a journey of 7 steps that actually requires you to work. Remember, if you're not putting any really type of power or work behind your goals, then it's really not a goal. It's just a dream. It's just a wish list. If you truly, truly are taking action towards success in your life, you have to put some skin in the game. You should see my vision board and my notebooks of everything that I have that have worked towards where I am today. The house that I bought in South Florida last summer wasn't by chance. It wasn't just a dream. I took action behind it, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to get this house. When I wanted to move to Florida, and I knew that this was going to be a house that was going to cost more than any house that I've ever bought, and it was going to be a big step, I knew the first thing that I needed to do was get my credit score where I needed to get it. So what I did is I hired a credit agent. She was amazing. You can reach out to me, send me a DM, and I'll be happy to send you her information. Her name is Sheila, and what she did is she helped me take action towards achieving what I wanted as far as a credit score. I set a deadline and a credit score that I wanted to achieve. And my action step was calling Sheila. And then I did what Sheila told me to do to get the score where I needed it to get by a deadline. The second thing that I did is I knew by talking to a real estate agent and a mortgage broker what I needed as far as a down payment, what I needed to put into my home. So what I did is I broke that down into action steps. How much money could I set aside? How much money could I save? What could I do to earn more money by a certain amount of time, because set a deadline to that, in order to achieve that goal? And I exceeded it. We actually put more down into this home than we intended because we set action plans on how we could achieve that. So we had the credit score that we needed. We had the money that we needed. All we had to do was find the home. So then what we did is we contacted a real estate agent through a friend that started looking for homes for us. Then we put action behind it. We set a deadline on when we wanted to come to South Florida in order to look for these homes. We narrowed them down to a list of 8 homes. We set a goal of when we wanted to come. We bought our plane ticket. We flew down and we actually looked at the homes. We set a deadline by that Sunday leaving on which home we wanted to make an offer on, and we were ready to go. And by the end of July, we were in South Florida, and by August 1st, we closed. This wasn't an overnight success. This is just one goal that we had. This was a formula that we followed that I'm sharing with you in order to achieve that goal. I did it. I know that you can do it. So today, I want you to start writing down those 7 steps to success. Write down what you want specifically, set those goals, make the list, organize it, take action steps, and then do something every single day, no matter how small, how big it is. Take an action every single day so that you can achieve it. I have all the faith in the world in you that you can do this. And until next week, guys, make sure that you're going back and leaving a rating and review. It helps so much reach so many people around the world. Lord knows that He wants you to succeed. Remember Ephesians 3:20, one of my favorite verses, that He wants for you exceedingly abundantly above and beyond more than you could hope for. And that's what I'm hoping for you today. Pour yourself into His Word. Look up Bible verses that are going to help motivate you. Set Bible verses by every single goal that you have to help you succeed. That's what I did. I created a notebook with verses that motivated me to take action steps every single day. And then I took all of those goals, made images on my computer, or I found them in a magazine, and I made a vision board so I knew that I could look at my vision and work towards it every single day. It says in Habakkuk 2:2 to create a vision and make it plain upon tablets. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So make sure that you share this podcast with somebody that you know that it will motivate you. The idea is for you to feel successful, motivated, inspired, and continue to pour yourself into God's Word every single day. And until next week, God bless. I'm praying for you.